Most homeowners renovate in phases because of budget. That makes sense. And honestly, phasing is not always the wrong decision. But phasing without a plan almost always costs more than doing everything at once. Let me explain the pros, the cons, and how to avoid the expensive mistakes. Let's start with the honest case for phasing because there are real advantages. Budget control is the most obvious one. You build what you can afford now and you don't go into debt trying to do everything at once. Living in the space first is also valuable. Before you commit to a full kitchen renovation, you might discover you actually need more storage, not a bigger island. Living in a space teaches you things a floor plan never will. And phasing means less disruption at once. So if you have kids, you work from home, or you can't move out, doing everything in one shot is genuinely hard. Breaking into phases makes construction more manageable. These are real advantages. But here's the thing, they only work if the phases are planned to connect. And most of the time they're not. When phases aren't connected by a plan, every decision in phase 1 can create a problem in phase 2. Without the full picture, you might finish phase 1 and then have to undo part of it when phase 2 begins. And that means paying for the same work twice. And here are the 4 most common ways that happens. The first one is the most expensive. If phase 2 requires structural changes, new plumbing, or moving walls, and you didn't plan for that in phase 1, you'll be opening finished work. Like for example, floors removed for plumbing, walls open for electrical, cabinets taken apart to change a layout. You pay once to build it and again to undo it. The fix is simple. Plan both phases before you start phase 1, even if you only build one right now. But that's not the only way money gets wasted. Every time you bring a contractor back for a new phase, there is a mobilization cost, setting up, protecting the space, moving materials in and out. When you do everything at once, you pay that cost once. When you phase without coordination, you pay it every time. So the work itself might cost the same, but the logistics add up more than people expect. And then there is a problem that catches almost everyone off guard. A homeowner renovates the living room, beautiful new hardwood floor, and then a year later they renovate the kitchen. But the same flooring isn't available anymore because there's different batch, slightly different color, or slightly different height. Now there is a visible line across the home and transition strips everywhere. It looks patchy and not cohesive. It's like painting a room twice with the same color name but from different batches. It's almost right, but not quite. And this happens all the time, and it's completely avoidable if you plan the full project before phase 1 begins. If phase 2 continues the same floor, buy enough material now. If you'll need matching tile later, confirm it's still available before phase 1 is done. But there's one more problem, and this one is the hardest to undo. This is the one nobody sees coming. You renovate the kitchen first, then you decide you want to open the wall between the kitchen and the living room in phase 2. But the kitchen layout you build doesn't work with an open floor plan. So you're not just opening a wall, you're redesigning a kitchen you just paid for. So phase 1 decisions made without knowing phase 2 can limit your options in ways that are very expensive to fix. So what's the solution? The solution is not to avoid phasing. The solution is to design the full project first, even if you only build part of it now, because you have to know the layout of every space, the materials you want to use throughout, where the plumbing and electrical need to go, how each phase connects to the next, and then building stages, based on budget and priority, but always from a master plan. And one more practical tip, if the walls are already open, run the roughing, plumbing and electrical for phase 2 now. That work is cheap while the walls are open. It's expensive when you have to open everything again. With that plan in place, phasing actually works in your favor. Here's what this looks like in practice. We recently completed phase 1 of a condo renovation, living area, media wall, flooring, bedroom, and custom closet. Kitchen and bathrooms come in a future phase. But before we started, we established the design foundation for the whole space, the materials, the palette, the style. So when the kitchen comes later, every decision already has a reference point. So nothing gets undone, nothing feels disconnected. It looks like it always meant to be that way. That's phasing by design, not by accident. So should you renovate all at once or in phases? If budget requires it, phase it, no problem, but design the full project first. Know what phase 2 looks like before you build phase 1. Buy materials for continuity now, do the invisible work while the walls are open. That's how phasing works without costing you twice. We made a full video on the condo project I just mentioned, the before, the process, and the result. That's linked right here.